Hello again. I think that today we are going to make a book for this wizard. Here is Gale, he is a wizard and he needs something to read. So in this video I'll go through the ways of making a book or a note in the toolkit. So let's first find the book. So you have many options. You can go through all of these options and select something that you like. So maybe something appropriately magical looking, maybe not an entire bookshelf, but maybe a mystical tablet. So we have one of these, and then we'll find a find a nice looking book as well. So I'm just putting them right in here, and let's see if they have some text in them. Yeah, so these are base books, so they don't really have any content, it just says that they are crumbled to dust and they are impossible to read, so let's change that. Let's make some text for our books. And I have to say that it's based on discussions and tutorials on the Discord. So for Kirame and Fluxpixel, I actually figured most of this stuff out, but I played around with it and I just wanted to show how it works in a video. In order to make the content in the toolkit, we are going into a menu that I haven't shown you before, and that is the translated string key editor. Now, this one is a little bit buggy in this version of Moonglasses from what I understand. As you can see, I have already made a few books, and we will have to select our project. Our project is called level 7, so make sure to make the new string key in your project. You will have to click new. You will have to give it a name. Let's call it level 7 wizard book. And you have to give it a key. So this is something we'll use later, so it's reasonable to give it a name you can remember. I often just call it the same level 7 wizard book. Now, because this stuff is a little bit buggy, and because I am really crap at remembering these things, I will just note the key in a Word document, notepad document. Nothing as fancy as Word over here. And in here we write the content. So you can write the content in this field, or you can actually open up this little window if you want to put more text. So the text you can put in here follows the rules of the really old style HTML that we used for my page and stuff. But there are some issues. If you put a lot in this field, you will find that the toolkit might crash. So let's just write something really simple, and then I'll show you one method to edit it later. I am a wizard. I am the bestest wizard. Okay. I don't know why my screen is white, but okay, let's close this. So you see the content showed up here. Alright, so let's save this string key. And you can already see that there's something weird going on in this window. Let's save it. And let's pray that it works. We have to be very patient. Sometimes this works without a hitch, but I find that at least the times I've tried it, you can't really open the string key again and edit it in this string key editor. Hopefully there will be a fix to this at some point. But so it's trying to save this, right? That's alright. Okay, so something happened here. Cannot save while editing field. It might actually have been saved. So you see it's not frozen anymore. So let's see what happens if we just close this. And let's see if we can add this text to our book. So we have the book selected. We can go into the sidebar of the book, and we want to find this. So under item state, use actions, it is a book. All right, we are opening it up. It says book ID unreadable. So the ID is actually what we put here, level 7 wizard book. Let's change it, apply it, and let's see if it works. Yeah, I am the bestest wizard. It did work. All right. So some guides say that you have to reload the toolkit for this to work. Not really. There is also something else you can do, because I told you that making new translated string keys will crash the editor, which is true. So if you are stuck here and you're thinking, well, shit, I don't have the patience to use the string key editor, there are two workarounds. One of them is very, very simple. The other one I have linked. It's a guide on Mod.io that will show you how to step-by-step create new texts without using the toolkit, just editing the files. All right. So let's say that we want to say Gail is also very pretty. So you can see now I'm just putting text in the book ID field that should like pull the translated string key that we have made. But actually, if you do this and you open the book, you see that the text changes. So if you want some short text, you can put it right in that field. I have found that if it's a really long text, that's not going to work very well. Toolkit gets a bit laggy, and this is definitely not the way you're supposed to do this. Interestingly, anything can actually be a book. So any item that has a use action, you can just go in here, edit the actions. You can say that, well, it's a book. So add that. Does it have a book ID? We can either put in the translated string key ID, the wizard book, apply. Yeah, read it. Okay, oop. Well, that didn't work. Yeah, so what you can do here is oh yeah, I was reading the wrong thing. Yeah, let's read the vase, not the stone tablet. Oh, you see, both happened. So we had the use event that was sent to Osiris, and we also had the text that showed up. Okay, let's try again. Yeah. I think there is a script associated with this vase, so but you get the point, right? Okay, so step 2. I am going to go through an easy way to actually add a lot of text, and I will show you some of the HTML stuff that you can use in these texts. Not much used in the game. I don't think I've ever seen that like colors and stuff in the game, so let's see what we can do. So for our next step, we are going to edit the text and the translated string key. So I have gone into the Baldur's Gate 3 folder/data, and you have your mods. When you open the mods folder, you find your project. It's level 7, right? And then you get several folders. We want the localization folder, and here you can see there is first of all of our books are listed here, but we also find this english.xml file, and we can open that. for example, in Notepad Plus or whatever you want. So there is a lot of weird stuff in here. That's because I've been experimenting with the books. But you can see that on the very bottom we have this field. I am the bestest wizard, so that is the translated string key that we made. So let's put something else in here. And let's try a few different things, alright? Let's try to edit the font, add some line breaks, add some colors, and perhaps a different language as well. So we'll do the cooking show trick, and I'll get back to you with an example. So I have made a little text. And it's a little limerick that I found on Reddit. Credit goes to the user Cures Light Wounds, who is someone who is apparently writing a lot of BG3 limericks. And ours is there once was a cleric of Gond, bald, who was cursed with a very small wand. He would always recharge with a scroll of Enlarge right before every partner he'd conned. So this is our text, and as you can see, we have added some font colors, and I will do one more thing, and that is to add some different script. I want to add some Japanese, actually, just to show you that that works, because you can't put different languages into the dialogue nodes themselves, or the script, or the translated string keys, but if you put them in here, like watashi wa neko, whoop, let's get the kanji, watashi wa neko, whoop, watashi wa neko desu, nyan, which means I am a cat, meow. That should work. So is this entered correctly? We probably want to check that it has the end content thing at the very end. And let's see that the script isn't broken. So it starts with content, yeah, and you have our text. And then content ends. So let's save this and then see what happens in the game. So we are back. Now this is exciting because Will is going to... What's going on? Alright, Will is going to speak to an object. So best practice, in my opinion, is that if you're going to change the properties of base game items, make a copy of them and place it in your project. I mean, since we have made the poem, I think that it's reasonable to just create a copy of a poem from the game. So how do you do that? Create new from selected. Yep. And make sure to place it in your project. That is level 7 for us, and I usually call it just test. Whoop. Aha, we are writing in Japanese, so let's not do that. Test. Call it something else than the original file name, so you're sure that it is unique to your project. And now we have placed it, so let's see now. We have changed the text for our book, yeah? So we go to the use actions, and this note is a poem is assigned to it. So this is the book idea that is assigned currently. Let's change it. So we know that we have level 7 wizard book. We save it. Apply. Let's see if we need to reload for this to work. So let's just try it. Oh, there was once a cleric of... So the code we put in really doesn't work. Let's see if we can fix that. So one workaround is, of course, to test this with our little ID trick, where we just put everything directly in here. So let's see if this leads to a crash. As you might see, I have the text here. So, if you put your HTML text or script or whatever you want to call it directly into the ID field, you can actually change color and make stuff bold or even put in Japanese. So that is an extremely simple way to do it, and you can do it through editing the English XML file as well. Clearly I did something wrong, but anyways, this is a proof of concept that you can quite easily make your own notes. So as a final little trick, let's add some line breaks. Okay, so I've now edited the text and added some line breaks and stuff. So let's try it. And I will paste this text in the YouTube description. Yeah, so there you go. So you can do a lot of fun things that we don't see in the base game, especially the color thing is fun. And of course different languages, and I don't know how many different sort of languages you can use, but something nice and fantastical and mysterious, yeah, sure. So in this video I've shown you a very simple way to make texts. So to summarize, you need to somehow create a string key, and as you could see, we could quite easily do that in the string key editor. Once you have a string key, you can easily edit it in the English XML file, barring bugs in your code, so clearly I did something wrong there. Or as a quick workaround, you can simply put the text you want directly into the ID field on use for the book. And also there is a third and more sophisticated way, where I would link to the guide on mod.io if you want to avoid the translated string key editor entirely, because it is quite buggy right now, to make your own texts and stuff. But at least for my purposes, this method is quite useful, and it's nice to see some colors in the books. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little video on making books.